Welcome to the Practical Ascension podcast. I'm your host and soul alchemist, Tracy Goody. Stay with me for practical guidance and flow for your modern life through this time of ascension. Hi, and welcome to your April Practical Ascension forecast. April is an amazing month coming up. So it's all about increased speeds of manifesting. So the cycle of manifesting is speeding up. These seeds that we have planted, some of us, these seeds are, we've planted them years ago. They're beginning to sprout. So how far you want to take that process? So if you want to take it from just allowing those seeds to sprout up to all the way to harvesting and really seeing the fruits of your labor, you definitely have the potential to do that in April. So the major themes that are coming up this month are manifesting, partnership, co-creation with the divine. That is a big, huge one. Co-creation with the divine, especially that. Discernment and flow, detachment, and action and practice. Now, the word courage was the first thing that was really coming up here. And there is a lot to do with our heart chakra and our sacral chakra this month. So working on ascending and working with those chakras is going to be very powerful too. So as I mentioned, the word courage came up. And the way that that's playing out in the month of April is courage to move forward, courage to ask for help. And that means divine help too. Courage to discern what is best for you. Courage to really take that leap. And when I'm talking about courage, it's not necessarily about not having fear. It's about feeling in your heart the path to go forward, and then having that power in your heart and having that force that's coming from within that propels you forward. So that's what I mean by courage. So courage to trust your intuition, courage to trust your flow and your rhythm, that your soul desires are going to come to you, but you must respect yourself and flow. So again, there is a lot of really beautiful masculine energy this month, but it's not about force. It's about weaving the masculine and the feminine together to create this flow. If you do find yourself in fear because of your energy levels, your clarity levels, or you don't feel like you're where you want it to be at this point, moving into a state of acceptance of your cycles is what's really going to set you up to be propelled forward throughout this month. So now, with all the clearing out that we have been doing in the last, maybe 18 months, 18 years for some people, what it has brought us to is really this time of availability of divine creativity. So we've cleared it out and we're making space for so much more light. So know that you do have the ability right now to hold more light, and you do have deeper grounding abilities too. Not everybody is tapping into these things yet, but they are there and they are available to you. Now, if you're feeling like the seeds sprouting this month come in the form of creative abundance and clarity. So if you've been kind of waiting for that next idea, that next inspiration, that next kind of big bang to happen in your business, in your life, in your relationships, this is just the month for it. And this is what I'm seeing. The abundance is coming in with creativity, with clarity. So it's not necessary that you set the intention that you want to manifest money or something like that. It's not likely to come in just out of nowhere money. It's more likely to come in the energy of creativity and in the energy of inspiration. And that's going to propel you to expand more into your purpose, more into your power, and that in turn pulls the money in. So be aware that your manifestations and your co-creations that you're asking for are coming in very kind of through creativity and clarity. So follow what comes up there. Now, what could be getting in the way of this for some of us is our pressure, our control, our attachment. Now that's another big theme. Detachment was huge this month. I see that energy running all throughout the month from the very first day of April to the very last day of April. Detachment, so big right now. So like I said, what could be getting in the way is the energy of control, the energy of attachment, and the energy of pressure. These are all normal human things, but this year we're really being encouraged to move into this state of flow. And this state of flow doesn't necessarily work that great whenever we have a lot of control, attachment, and pressure on ourselves. So Coming into this state of trust is a really powerful tool right now, knowing that even as you have experienced contrast, it was all according to a plan. And the faster you can detach from that heaviness, that lack, that victim energy, that questioning, the faster you're going to allow yourself to feel the buzz of those seeds starting to sprout and see the brilliant clarity and gifts that have been gathering under the surface for you. So yes, I know that there's been contrast, and I know that a lot of people have had a lot of contrast this year. A lot of dark nights of the soul, a lot of questioning, a lot of kind of feeling like you're in this lack pattern and cycle. But that is... it's no more. This is just the echo of it that's holding on here. So don't hold on to what happened in the past. It's bringing it all to the present to get your power in the perfect spot to allow this divine creativity down and through you. So set your aim and set your focus, and then be a clear channel to serve. Tend your vibration and trust. This is what it's all about. It's less work and more trust. Cutting attachment to the details. Now, this may mean that you also have to increase your self-belief. This was the next area that was really coming up for me for the Ascension Energies for April. But looking down kind of in your solar plexus, there look like some of you do have some work to do around there. Practicing detaching from any thoughts or beliefs of yourself that lower your vibration. So self-talk is important this month too, paying attention to that. So in the space of choosing self-acceptance and choosing worth from within, you're really allowing yourself to be open to receive the even better than you thought gifts that you requested from the universe. So all of these things that you have been asking for, they want to come, and they want to come in really miraculous ways, but do notice how you are feeling about yourself. Don't continue living in your state of contrast or fear. So like I mentioned, those things were coming up, but doesn't mean you need to stay living in that energy just because you had been practicing that vibration for a while. It showed you what you do want and what you do not want, and its job is done now. So it was only there to inspire you into this greater and faster expansion of who you really are. Creating and keeping a practice this month of connecting to your higher self, and then allowing, meditation's really good for April too, and then allowing this calming and quieting of your mind is going to allow this beautiful, creative, kind of fertile conditions for the divine to move to and through you. So again, it's a lot about the flow from the divine down to you, to be grounded, to be expressed out, this beautiful flow. So you create so much magic this month when you just let go of attachment and control. And this does not mean being passive. Does not mean being passive at all, because this is also a big action month, but it's a flow month. It's not about hard force. It's a flow of connection. So it's focused intention without any pressure or attachment, and then action. Flowing with the choice to be of service to yourself first, and then divinely connecting. So that's the service for yourself, is the divine connection, because that allows your vibration to rise, and it allows you to assimilate and to integrate these higher vibration energies that want to come out and through you. And then, after you are first being of service to yourself, being of service to others, and with that energy of the divine. So you're being of service to yourself, to others, to the divine, all of it, but you just got to get into that right flow, and all of this propels you forward. There are light workers here now, and for so many reasons and purposes, like here and now in this time, we're everywhere. We are everywhere. We have all different kinds of purposes. Not every light worker is an energy healer. Everybody does different things. So it's not your job to figure it all out or to, save all of humanity, but it's your job to connect and express your soul level message and gifts, even if you don't fully grasp your value yet or the value that carries yet. Take the pressure off of yourself and ascend your actions so that they are in a state of flow, not force. So all of this goes with that same energy of it's time for this partnership, co-creation. It's time for discernment and flow. It's time for detachment. It's time for action and practice. Practice, practice, practice. Nobody's asking us to know all of the answers or to get all the details perfect, just to be practicing it. And I totally recommend coming back to this forecast throughout the month, because the reminders in here are going to serve you differently throughout the month, but they are going to serve you throughout the month. Now, I mentioned cycles and your own rhythm earlier. This is another reminder to pay attention to how you feel, especially as we're coming up to the end of the month too, the last week of the month or so. Do not force when you feel you need to rest. You're going to be 10 times more productive by following, trusting, and accepting your flow. There's going to be energy highs and energy lows this month. Just going along with the flow without judgment is really going to allow you to make the most of it. Detach from pressure on yourself. Detach from how it should look or what your day should consist of. And instead, play with your flow. So discern what you feel with, and here's another kind of aspect of that discernment as well, but around relationships and business and projects, anything that you're spending your time on, using your discernment for that too, and checking in with yourself and asking, how does this make me feel? How does working in this, being in this energy make me feel? And then you want to get a little tiny bit of a higher perspective here. You want to detach from expectations, from drama, from pressure. And then as you are kind of flowing yourself in the state of acceptance a little bit more, then ask yourself, has my perspective shifted? How does this make me feel now? For some of us, there is work to do in relationships and business and in projects that we just need to change our perception. So we just need to take that pressure off of ourselves, that expectation, that stubbornness going towards one direction. And we just need to allow ourselves to maybe pivot a little bit and flow, maybe open up channels of communications in relationships and in partnerships and things like that. So that's what the discernment is all about. So first you're just checking in, how does it make me feel? And then you are ascending your perspective a little bit by letting go of expectations and attachment. And then you're checking in again. Now how does it make me feel now that I've shifted my perspective? And can you accept where you are at in order to realize the difference between flow and force? So it's not about being in denial of where you're at and staying so hardcore focused on what it is you want that you're just ignoring what's going on. It's about accepting where you're at and being able to flow from there. Practicing your co-creation this month and letting go of that pressure and control and accepting and connecting to the divine, and then practicing and expressing your gifts and creativity. And then you're just open to receive. And then that's the whole thing. Like, that is the whole thing. So overall, April is a very positive, very powerful, fresh month that encourages us to keep going and harness our unique power. Thank you so much for listening to the April Practical Ascension forecast, and I encourage you to tune back in and listen to this anytime throughout the month you need a little bit of boost, and it should provide you with exactly what you need. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember to check out practicalascension.com for your free membership, access to guided journeys, energy healings, activations, and more to deepen your practical ascension experience. And grab that all in the show notes below. Have an amazing day.